welcome to an exciting episode of Riding Through the Unknown. Wow, it's been a day. I had to think for a second what show I was on. But I am proud to say that not only is this show pre-recorded, but it is with a guest who was on towards the end of last season, and it was such an exciting episode and had so much information. Had to bring her back, and this time with new information in a format we learned from last time. So hope you all enjoy this, but I'm going to stop rambling now and turn it over to the one, the only, amazing Christy Campbell.
Thank you for having me today. Thank you for the intro, too. That's nice.
Oh, you're welcome. I not meant it. And I appreciate everything you do for me.
Thank you for having me on.
It's my pleasure. And for those joining, what topics are you wanting to share today?
We have the Black Manta, the project, and the hybridization, and the intergalactic emissary, and what's that? And I think that's all for today, right? Those 4, because I didn't want to overdo it, because I have a lot more I can share, but I didn't want to go over the hour, So, yeah. So do you want to start with like the the super soldier one with the werewolf? Yeah, that too. So,
okay.
Which one do you want to do first? It's up to you.
Well, let's see. I'm trying to get over to the screen so that I can see the screen, and it's not wanting to cooperate with me. Why is it all of a sudden not cooperating? So let's see. Oh, I love live shows. So apparently...
Is this live, Michael? Or is this pre-recorded?
Well, it's pre-recorded, but okay. I don't edit it. So
yeah.
So I'm going to have to stop sharing and reconnect, because for some reason it just doesn't want to cooperate.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I found why, because it's not where I thought it was.
Oh, okay.
So you want the super soldier? That's this one.
Yeah. So this is going to be the one that I'm there showing my tooth there. That's because my tooth had been hurting, after I kind of had the experience, like it was kind of a dream. I forgot if it was a dream or if it was just came to mind. Like sometimes I forget, but what I recall on there, if you wanted to click on the picture to make it bigger,
sure.
Do you want to do that? Will you be able to, so it can see?
I can, because I figured out where it's at.
So I was showing that that's where my tooth had been hurting, and I thought that at first that I had a cavity, so I went to the dentist and they did like an x-ray and everything, and that was like a crown that I have. So there's no root there, when he came back with the x-ray, then the gums was kind of swollen, but there wasn't anything there in the tooth at all. No cavity, nothing. So I thought this has to be something with that then, because I kind of matched them together after that with the werewolf, kind of, because that's and on the next one, if you wanted to show those other ones there as I'm talking with the werewolf and stuff, like the doctor.
This one.
Well, the one, my drawing part, the ones I'm drawing, because I'm showing there that doctor is like a super soldier. I think it's just a pocket reality that I was taken out of, like this, like maybe because it's not military, but it's like the well, it's kind of like a science lab, but it's a base, but it's like a wet room kind of thing, and they use that place. It's like I don't even know where it's at. It's not even on Earth, because I had to have my friend Leah come and get me out of there in order to save me. She was on her way anyways to there. But this place was like it looked like a shower room, almost. Like the tile was light blue, and the rooms were like individual rooms like this, but it's like a table in there, and then I was the only one in there. But out in the middle of the area, then they have like a chair where, and then it's like the whole wall is like a Stargate, to where the person in the chair is going to open it up and they can go in or hold the door open, for the super soldier. But I don't remember if there was someone in the chair or not, because I don't think that there was. I think that the Stargate thing just had opened up. But anyway, that man, he's like a scientist, and he has glasses, and he was in the other one with the Surrogate, Project Surrogate. He was the same doctor, with the bald head and glasses, and then he has really big old fingers. But anyway, so he's using his tools and stuff to put the electrical shock in my tooth, and doing that will make me switch into the werewolf. So that's what I was thinking, is the super soldier program, so because that's what they do. They utilize the DNA, of the like I can switch into the werewolf and to the feline, and really those are my strongest ones, the canine and then the cat. Those are my strongest ones. But the werewolf one, he was electroshocking me here, so I'm switching out, like I'm changing, and he just keeps on, and then he lets off. So it's kind of like a torture thing too. So he's not like he's doing it just so I'm like in pain too, with the electrical shock thing. And he's the only one in there, but he just lets it go as high as he can, and then lets it off. So then I start shifting out, and I was talking about my friend Leah. She was looking for me. I guess she had word or something that I was missing or something, or had been taken or kidnapped or something like that. And I don't know why the scientists would have been doing that, really. That part didn't come to me, of why the torture. But maybe I just called her out, was just calling her telepathic to come and help me or something. That's what I kind of think.
Right. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, that part does, huh? And so she was on her way with a team to come and get me, and they didn't make it in time. They came in from this to the right of this, to the hallway right there. They came out from that way. There was like the opening to get into that lab. It's not really like a lab. It's like it's like a basement locker room, wet room, kind of like that. And then so they came out there, but I had already shifted into the werewolf, and I ran out of the Stargate out there, the main area. So I was gone into the werewolf, and I just put that as an example, of what I would kind of shape shift into. But I think it's all, my whole body is full of the hair, not just that part, not just the head. So yeah, then I just ran out of there. So that was that experience of I don't know if it's in my lab. I don't think it is. I think it's just a super soldier. What do you think of that? Like, what's your
I would agree. I don't think it's my lab, but I do feel like it is off planet, and I also feel like the reason they were doing it is studying what does, they may have been studying to see what does it take to cause the shift and what happened, and can they revert it. But before they could revert it, you broke free, and so I feel like, maybe the experiment didn't go as planned, or now they're learning, yes, if we're going to change them into this form, we need tighter restraints or different measures to keep them in place to program.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's my thinking is, yeah, the process was interrupted by your friends arriving and by you breaking free. It, to me, I get the feeling like they weren't expecting that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, because I think I did have those restraints on, and then I just broke them, because yeah, they wasn't strong enough, and there wasn't anyone else there, just the man. So that was kind of crazy too, that it just had the man there. That's the only person that I seen.
And one thing I will say is I find it interesting, and I don't know if your drawings to scale, like with the glasses and everything,
Mm-hmm.
but when I first saw the picture and I looked at the glasses, it's like my mind flashed to the doctor in Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, and it was like, if I flatten the face a little bit, I was like, that could be that person.
Yeah, I haven't seen that, so I don't know. I don't know what that, but yeah, he kind of is in the other one too. He looks similar to the one that's in the Project Surrogate. You know, the it's a complete different reality. Complete different experience with that one. So
Different
yeah,
timeline. Yeah.
yeah. But I guess maybe there's something about the way he looks that would annoy me, because he's so like creepy, and his hands is like really big fingers, and you know what I mean, like that. Probably
Yeah.
from another time. Then he traumatized me, so that kind of makes me traumatized even more, when seeing him. So then that created that extra adrenaline rush, for the werewolf shape shifting, so that's
Right.
what I
And
think.
it's interesting that he has either 4 fingers and no thumbs,
Oh,
or
he does. He has
three
all of
fingers and
them.
a thumb.
No, he has all of his fingers. It's just a
Oh, okay.
drawing.
Well, the reason I say that
Yeah.
is I was looking at something earlier and somebody had a photo of like a bluish looking bald headed alien
Hmm.
that had 6 fingers on both hands.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, look at the fact he's got 6 fingers on both hands. Who has that?
Mm-hmm.
And then the next image is the Nephilim. And they said, that's who this was.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was
Hmm.
noticing the hands and thinking, okay, so he's not Nephilim, but he's not human either.
Yeah, he's human. He's human. I just drew that way, yeah. So,
That's
because
okay.
in the other ones, he has like, it's like for my finger, then his is like that, so it's massive fingers that he uses,
Yeah. And in
Yeah.
full disclosure, if I hadn't seen that about the Nephilim, I probably wouldn't have paid any attention to the
Yeah.
hands.
Yeah. So then we can go into the next one then. So you can see there. Um
Which one would you like?
we can do the black manta if you want to. The
I
the the
don't think you
aquatic
emailed.
the aquatic human hybrid
Okay.
one, that one, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, so this is going to be with on that boat is the what I was remembering seeing, like being on that. And this is a pretty new memory that's come up. So the boat, it kind of looks like that in my mind, it's not like a big boat, it's like a fisherman boat, so but underneath there they have like kids in cages up against the wall, so on that wall, and I'm in the cage, and then I remember seeing like Joseph Powell, and I think Arkeem is there too. I don't know if I just uh bring them there with me or they take us there because of Montauk. I'm not sure, but seems like they're with me a lot in many of the experiences with these things, to do with like cages and torture and stuff like that. So on that boat though, if you want to keep it on the boat, or because that boat is like really, I think that it'll help people remember that, because
Yeah.
it's something about it.
Didn't you have another image of the boat
Mm-hmm.
too?
Yeah, yeah, because it's in the cages too. The cages are kind of like that. They're not just hanging though. They're on the ground. They're stacked up. But the boat looks just like that. So underneath though, then they're kind of the cages are up the front there, and then there's an electrical chair too that they put each one of us in, and they do the same kind of torture with us there. So they're trying to, um, they're giving us the serum, like it's just different aquatic serum, like injecting us with all these I guess like a mermaid or a siren. Um, there's there's a mixture, I think, and they've tagged us, and so the chair kind is more of a chair though. I couldn't find the exact what I was seeing in my mind of the chair, because it's kind of electrical, like electrical, the wooden chair, like that. Um,
Right.
and then they have us sit there, and they have us like pinned down there, and they have all the cages, so they're all watching. And the person, they're like fishermen though, so they're not like, I don't know, the guys are like, they look like pirates or something. They're real dirty looking, and so it's kind of different. It's kind of a different thing. And I thought it was like the black manta, because I was seeing, this is all that I seen. So I seen this part because it might be two different experiences that I seen, with the black manta, because I know that that is a program too. But I was seeing that, we was on this boat, and then we would all be, we would we would be injected with the serum, then we were tossed over into the water, and then we were tagged and then tracked and stuff, and they track us and stuff throughout the ocean and stuff, and then they'll come pick us up or whatever. But so we managed to escape, um, and I guess, um, I think we were hiding underneath something. And so the black manta though I was seeing was Rob, with the typical skeptic Rob, like he had
Right.
a base down there or something like that. And I know Priscilla had seen some of it too, so she was kind of adding on to the recall of this. But I think he always just goes around like, and he has like it's like he's the black manta, but he has like a little pod thing that he drives around in the ocean in, and so he's just doing that. I don't know if he was an experiment too, because I think he was, and he got away. But he has, I guess he goes around tracking this place. That's what happened. So he goes around tracking all those that they've thrown over, because he's trying to like not really rescue them, but kind of guide them to maybe a safer place or something away from the fishermen. So he came to our rescue, and then we found like a base under on the bottom of the ocean. There was like a base, and I guess he was wanting to show us inside that they made clones of all of us, so each room would have a clone, like the in the center is the actual person, and then all around is the clone body. It's like an empty shell in like a liquid, um and so in each room. So, and it's like a really nice base under there too. Um and it is in the Gulf. The Gulf of Mexico is where that happened. Um and then so we went into that base and was looking, but I don't think that we destroyed the base. I'm not sure if we blew it up, because that might mess up things in the ocean. So I think we were just there to see that there were other clones of us at that place, because they would lose us, the fishermen would lose us, and then they would have more of us, in that at that base. So they they just kept doing that. I don't know what for though. What was the reason for? Because there's a reason. I think they're doing something though with the Stargate. There must be like a Stargate or something that we're going through.
Yeah, I think it's a jump point.
Okay. To some, like what, in the base or what?
I feel like, like when we say like the missing children from parks and stuff, they're all gathered at a point and then scattered to whatever program takes them, or to, whatever planet, pays for them.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that base, what I was picturing is, yeah, all of them are gathered there, and like that's where they go through the Stargate or whichever gate they use
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
to go to their next destination. It's like a jump point.
Yeah, I see that there at that base, because they have plenty of those of us that they've created, that kind of work with transferring through the Stargate, because not everybody can make it through the Stargate, like their mind isn't trained to do that, to hold the focus and to go through. I guess because of Montauk, because the people that were in Montauk too, they kind of were trained to be able to hold the focus and not look to the side or nothing. You just have to kind of look straight ahead, because there have been times when people had gone through and then they heard like somebody call their name, or they heard something, and then they look and then it kind of it messes everything up, like some people have been um I don't think that they were ripped, but the time messed up, like they had to go to another time, or they were
Right.
something like that. It just messes, like you get lost. They don't know where you went if you look to the side. But there'll be sometimes things that get into that Stargate that, like, it's like a tunnel, and then some beings can reach in, I guess, and or something, and then they'll look, because you just look, like it's, but we're trained not to, I guess, maybe.
Right.
So.
And it's also interesting to note, like, you saying how nice it looked.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought when I heard that was, well, all these people and children have just been nabbed and are in a space of fear and like, oh my God. And to show them this nice place, it's like a way of them saying, yeah, see how nice this is? We're not going to do this or that, and kind of falsely calm everybody down and put up a front of, oh, hey, this ain't so bad. I can wait here for this and don't think about, oh, yeah, the next step is going to be way worse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because they're kind of like in a trance anyway when they're there, like the kids and stuff. I mean, I didn't see that part, but I know that is, that would be a place where they would be taken. I don't know how they would get there. I don't know. How do you think they would get there, the kids and stuff from there? Would
They'd
they?
be gated there. Like, so someone was explaining to me, like, one of the way they operate is like in a national park. The
Mm-hmm.
portal that they, like, somebody can walk into a portal and vanish without a trace. And on the other side of the portal are 1 to 3 people or beings that grab you, pull you
Mm-hmm.
through, or grab you as you go through, close it.
Mm-hmm.
So, to everyone's appearance, you just vanished in thin
Oh
air.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the
Yeah.
other side of the portal
Oh
may
yeah.
be already at that underground
I
place.
see. Yeah, that
And
makes
so
sense.
that's how they're transporting and gathering everybody there, is
Yeah.
they're waiting on the other side of the portal. They know when you're coming, turn it on, you get caught in it, turn it off. Nobody can find you. You disappear without a trace. Everyone gives up looking,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody thinks to look at in the water.
Yeah. Yeah. This way far off, because there's no water anywhere. You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't even. There's no in that park where they disappeared. There's no water, so they wouldn't even connect the dots to that. And then that
Right.
base is that's like cloaked because it's at the bottom, but it's like it's really fancy dome kind of everything. It's like that you wouldn't be able to even find it, I don't think, unless you had some kind of technology that could detect that something, but it's high tech. It's like when I look at it, it looks like it's top of the line, like a cyber center or something like that, and it's kind of dark, but it's all lit up around the sides, the lighting
Right.
and stuff. And then the rooms, I just open up and like the doors. And so it's like high tech looking. But I'm thinking that they probably take those kids and stuff like that. And then they do maybe I don't know what's up with the fisherman boat up there, like maybe that's just a way to it might be a um I mean, it seems like the boat, like I see the boat. So I mean, I don't know what else
Well,
to think that.
the boat I can explain because when you think about, you're trafficking children and people, you want to bring the least amount of attention to you. If you show up in port somewhere with this high tech looking vessel, people are going to be looking.
Mhm.
But you show up in a rusty looking trawler or fishing boat, everyone just will look at it and go, well, yeah, that's another fisherman,
Mhm. Yeah.
and give it no second thought. And
Mm-mm.
it's like the perfect disguise.
Yeah. Yeah. I see a few more people there too that I know that is I see like Steve, Steve that's with me on some of the Super Soldier, and also Randy too. I see a couple I don't maybe I can find some. I don't know if they're just in my mind of places, but just seems like people start appearing too when I think of them, like when I'm thinking, like searching my mind of who all goes through there, that they're using because of their abilities, though, because they're using their abilities to, because I can find you there now too, so, so, um, and
Yeah.
Lily too, Lily, uh, um, I can see her there too, so,
It can
um,
be, your mind might be putting up an image that'll help you feel comfortable
yeah,
and okay with, and
maybe with those
allow
people.
you to calm and recollect yourself and prepare yourself. And at the same time, too, it could be, you know, like you were saying, you needed help, and your mind goes, okay, yeah, this person can help, this person can help.
Mm-hmm.
And I know from a fact, even if I'm off world somewhere, like I could be like 10 galaxies away, I will hear someone's energetic thought and see, like, how it works for me is like I could be on a world where, it's an ocean world, and I'm just, doing my thing, and all of a sudden I'll start to see in front of me an image, and I'm like, that's not on this world. And I'll feel, like, oh, someone's in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Yeah.
takes me less than probably like less than a nanosecond to go, it's not here.
Mm-hmm.
Someone needs my help. Figure out who it is, figure out where they are, and then go, okay,
Yeah.
and be there.
Right. Right. Telepathy and our psionic abilities and stuff. So there's probably like several realities then, because of seeing like Rob as the Black Manta, but the Black Manta is a black ops program, like the Black Navy or something like that. So I think it's done to mix it all up in my mind, so I'm not like remembering the full details of one thing, because it's like
Well,
seems like it's 3 or so different things happening.
right. And one of the things that's interesting that Marvel has started doing with their characters is viewing the timelines and saying, like, for example, Captain America, Steve Rogers, everybody knows it. But in a timeline, Steve dies before he can get the serum, and Peggy becomes Captain, or I forget what they call her. I think it's Captain Britain. It's not Captain Britain, but something Britain,
I don't know.
because she's
I haven't seen it.
UK, and it's like
I
everything's
see.
different. And I was watching like Hercules, The Legendary Journeys. If you ever watched that show, they had an episode where a wormhole opened up and two Hercules switched places. One that was raised good and one that was bad.
No.
And so where I'm going with it is we're thinking now, looking at Black Manta and going, this is really bad. That's a bad figure because that's what the movies have told us.
Oh, yeah.
And Rob could be a Black Manta, but his Black Manta is from a timeline where they were the ones that were helping people. And,
Yeah.
And so we don't think about, wait, which universe Manta is this?
Yeah. This is not like this is just cuz I think that I read where he was mistreated, where the Black Manta was mistreated or something by whoever, the
The
Aquaman or
Atlanteans.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that the Black Manta he was asking for help or something like that. That's what I read. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie or nothing. So I read that part, but I think that 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 kind of would be like Rob, where he would be asking for help and nobody came. So now he's helping those who are the underdogs, who are being used for the projects and stuff like that.
Right.
He's not helping the people who are trying to control the thing.
Yeah, and
So
to be
he's
honest, if you watch the movies, the Manta story is he was supposed to be king of Atlantis, but
okay.
he shows up as being the heir and steals, in his mind, his place in the hierarchy, and so he feels jaded. And what do all jaded people do? They become the villain.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll have to watch that. So because I wanted to see that the Black Manta, the comic one, the old one, not like a new, like the original or something like that. I was just looking at the comic book so I could kind of get an idea of who that was, because I was trying to find like him going through the water and stuff like that, because I seen that he had like a mobile thing too. So like now I just saw Draco too. I just keep seeing people that I know, like, so I don't know what kind of, there's like people that I know that were at Montauk, or another experiences. But I don't know. I just see all people keep flashing in my mind of that place, of being in the ocean. So lots of ocean experiences, like in the Gulf right there too, with with the doing like experiments on the dolphin and the human, like mixing, like I was gonna send you another one too, of where we were training with dolphins, to call them out and stuff, where we had their DNA, so we could communicate with them telepathically. So we would be dropped off in the ocean, in the Gulf there too, and we would call them out and they would come and get us and take us through the Stargate too. So I think that might all be connected. I don't know. Seems
So
like.
I have another piece to that might help fill in some answers. I had a guest on my Tuesday night show who is near the Columbia River Gorge, and there the government admitted to creating super soldier animals. And they were using dolphins with attachments attached to them to sink ships or kill any people that were trying to get in to areas where like nuclear research was being done. They were using dolphins to protect, and they require, I believe it's salt water. And his area is freshwater, so they were creating hybrids of cats mixed with humans and other animal crocodiles mixed with humans to create super soldier animals to protect the area, and they were escaping. And we were discussing this is could be the origin story for some of the cryptids that we study in the paranormal community. But when you're saying, you met with dolphins, it's very likely it could have really, our government did splice dolphin with human, and you did run into that because they've admitted to creating super soldier animals.
Yeah, because we were there was a whole bunch of us, different super soldiers, and it's like it's just a special team, it's not like all the super soldiers do this. So it's like a special operation to where we're in a helicopter and then dropped off and it's like dark, and so we can't see, but we have special abilities to be able to call the dolphin like it's a training thing, so they can take us underneath the ocean there, and then there is a stargate there that opens up, but they don't go through it. But we're sent through that stargate to another reality to where we were going to this other place to collect like relics and stuff of things. So this is a different place too. So that might be the reason why they're doing the whole boat thing. All of that might be all connected. Maybe that's kind of what's going on.
I feel like it is.
Yeah, because it's kind of all misleading, with the boat, and then that boat kind of really, I don't know what's up with the boat, because they could do that underground at the base, so I don't know.
I think it's because some people can't like operate maybe underwater in the base, like their body won't take to it. So they have that team on the boats to help monitor and watch and make sure nobody else is coming into the area.
Yeah, it might be like a detour. It might be just like a decoy, like that. So, because they can throw us all over and just say that we were fish, because that's what we would be. It's like fish, So that's kind of, maybe they're like a lookout or something,
Right.
But they would have the detection thing too. So I don't know. I think it's a few different things going on, just so I don't remember the whole thing, But I do remember quite a bit with going into that Stargate, because we swam through that Stargate, and then we ended up like in a cold water because it was the Gulf, and now we're like in a different reality where we would swim in, and now we can just swim. It sometimes is coming out on land, to a different place, but we're going into bases, to different places and stuff to find these relics, and I don't know every like detail of, because it's not just relics, it's something sometimes it's something else, like a
relics, technology,
yeah,
assets.
something. There's
Yeah,
like
it would
different
always be
things.
different. There was
Yeah.
never always the same.
Yeah. And we had to collect it. We had to search for it. First we thought, because we would go in and we would know where it was, but then sometimes things changed. Maybe the reality timeline changed or something. And then we went in and then we couldn't find it, or I don't know. But one time we went in and we couldn't find it. It was nothing there. And so I don't know what happened with that. Like the base was completely empty, that we were sent to. And then so we just left from there. And then when I came into another one, and then it was like in a completely different place. Like it was like Lemuria or something like that. Like it was me and John Whitberg. We came out of the water, and then we were going into a cave to meet the native people there. And then we sat in a circle, and they was like, we were bringing in the crystal that we found, that we recovered. So that crystal like saved their whole civilization, and so they were like honoring us for bringing the crystal to them, and it was like a big thing. And then I even saw like Kuan Yin there too, and it was like Lemuria though. So there's different things. Yeah. So
Right. And crystals are viewed as time keepers of time. Like
oh
they
yeah.
keep information, and we just think it looks pretty, but it's
Mm-hmm.
got millions of pieces of data within it. And
Mm-hmm.
if that's what energy wise we can access it, and that's what helps us. And
Yeah. So do you want to go on to the emissaries?
sure.
Yeah, let's go into that one. So this is going to be kind of like what I do all the time, I think, as in this other, like I think it's my Pleiadian, it might be Syrian Pleiadian aspect, or other ones too, but I would be one that there's a whole group of us, because it's like a mothership that like it's like a conference table room on a ship. And this mothership is like a place where we would live and work. And, it's like like a big mall is what I see in my mind of the place. But in the conference room, then we're given like the assignment, like a work order or something. That's what kind of seeing. So they give us work orders every day, and then we would go to this planet or wherever we're sent. And it's like like I remember a place where there was like insectoids, and they were having issues with each other. So we had to be like the mediators in between them, to try to help like a peace talk or something like that between the two races or something, or many, there might be a whole group of different people that we're just sitting in and mediating, just to kind of be like a witness or something that happened, or like we're kind of record keepers too. Maybe I'm a record keeper. But there's a whole group of us that do it throughout the whole like galaxy and other galaxies, and it's kind of wherever we're sent. And sometimes it's not like some people they're not really like into doing that part. They'd rather just like be more police, like standing in as a police person or something, if
Right.
there's kind of
Security.
conflict, yeah, between the two. So they would be in there policing, but not they're kind of like there's a conflict, but they're kind of like a group, just trying to keep the peace though. They're like that's all that I can think of. Is like they're not like there to fight. They're just keeping the peace between the two because it maybe got too much conflict.
Yeah. So
You
something you could look at is for those who are in like really into science fiction, it would be like they were the Jedi Knights. They
Oh,
were
okay.
keepers of peace, but
Mm-hmm.
if they couldn't resolve the situation and were threatened, they could respond. But
Yeah.
the first action was not to respond with violence
Right.
unless provoked.
Right. Of course. Yeah. Then they would have to. I don't know. We're not like aggressive or nothing, like we're not
Right.
there to fight, even though they're in a police, but they can still, do it in a way where it's not violent,
Yeah, they were viewed
So,
as the impartial, and so if they sided with you, great. If they didn't, you didn't feel like, oh, it's because they favored this side. It was, they're completely
Yeah, it's neutral.
neutral, so
Completely.
everybody was okay with whatever the decision was.
Yeah. Well, they make it on their own. We're just there to just witness what they can come up with, and then if they can't come to terms with something, then they ask for
Oh,
I don't think they ask for us to decide. I don't think so. I
no,
don't think that would be our place to decide,
the only
you know.
time we ever would get involved is if they escalated and physically threatened or did attack something, then we were to respond, subdue, return everything to calm peace, and then
Yeah.
try again, or if not, escort them off and inform them, until you're of the right mind, you're not allowed back here. And if you do step foot, you will, not be welcomed in the same manner.
Yeah. They have some kind of guideline or something like that they have to follow. I guess per maybe like a council or something like that. Maybe there's like some kind of a council rules that they've created or something like, So they're like I was seeing like this is like this one here is like on the ship, then it was like a dinner banquet, something like that. And then so I can speak all these different languages, like it's within me or whatever. So all these different species and beings or however, they all look different, and I can talk to all of them in their own language. So they feel comfortable with me so I'm always like at the front there welcoming them into the place, and then they go in, they sit down and I think it's some kind of a meeting and banquet or something like that they would be attending, you know, um, for the galactic or something like that. So I guess I would be like an ambassador or something like that, a galactic ambassador or something like that. So
It could be, and I will admit
yeah.
that's one of the things I miss about the suits is that ability to understand and speak languages.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where I get to where I can, write all these different things is it's within me too, because I can be sent to like a lot of the insectoid places, because they have issues a lot with trying to dominate each other and stuff. So this would be like bees and grasshopper beings, or beetles and something like different ones. And so I was seeing that me and Steve and Arkeem was there, and one of the things I drew, and it's on one of the other pictures there, that we were sent to I think is this one, yeah, that one there. And so we just appeared like on a thing, so maybe a hologram or something that we appear to them, but they're all around us, all these different insects, praying mantis and all that. And we're there to witness what they're talking about, because we're like record keepers. So we're recording all of this stuff, not like writing it down, but like we're recording it, I guess, through telepathy. Um, and then going back to the workplace, to report it, to write it down to what happened. So this is like a place where we keep all the records for the galaxies and stuff too, so we can pull records and see what their history was and just kind of learning about different races and what their what's going on, kind of like that. So but
Right.
that's me with my cat Kronos. He's also like the black, like a jaguar, so he's beside me there. And then those are just I think that they're greys. I think they're a species of greys. They might be insects too. But we just are there listening because they're telling us what's going on, and then we go to the other, and then like that. So it's kind of a lot of intel, like listening.
Right. And
Mm-hmm.
I know from memory, well, I say memory, but it feels like a memory to where not only do we like retell what we saw and heard and everything, but I feel like our suits also recorded
Yeah, that
what was
makes more
going
sense.
on.
Uh-huh. Yeah, because it's a smart suit kind of thing. So, but it can make us appear too, because we don't like, I don't know. It's different. Like, I don't know all the details of those suits. That'd
And
be
I
that'd
think,
be cool to know all the things we could do with this suit, because I know we can shapeshift and run fast and be invisible and fight and do all that stuff too. So,
right, and I think one of the things that the suits allows to where, like you were saying, they recognize you and accept you and
mhm.
allow you in, is because I think the suits portray us as one of them, and it holographically
Oh,
makes
okay.
us look like one of them,
Yeah, that could be
talk
with
like
some.
them, and then and we're
Mhm.
not physically changing, but everyone sees us as
Yeah,
one of theirs,
I can
and
see
so
that. Because some people, they don't want to talk to someone that looks different, than them. So they are aware that we are who we are, but we are appearing for they asked us to look like them. So I guess, or we know that they don't want to look, like they want us to look like they do in order to feel comfortable. So,
right.
yeah. Hmm.
Like, the insectoids, they don't like humanoids. And so if we show up in our suits in humanoid form and say we're here to talk, they're not
Yeah.
going to give us the time of day. But if we
Uh-huh.
look insectoid,
Yeah.
it
Right.
doesn't have to be their, like, if it's ant people versus, like you were saying, the mantis versus bee versus spider, we
Mhm.
can pick a form that may be allied to them that's not in the
Mhm.
area
Yeah.
and be like,
Oh,
we'll take
yeah.
that form, be accepted. They won't
Mhm.
question, and there's no one to question to. Do what we need to do, leave, and no one's the wiser.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Because we can shapeshift to that. So it would be something that we could like shapeshift into easily, So we would be able, like we would use the form to another worlds where that's just where like for super soldiers and stuff too, like that. So I was just seeing those suits are those we use those all the time then, huh? Like the smart suits.
We
Because
do.
they help us run really fast with that Kruger program. They run really fast, so that allows you to run like super fast and be invisible and shapeshift.
And
So,
jump.
mhm, yeah, mhm. Okay, so that's really all there, and and then so the last one there is the hybridization program. Um, and I think I've been doing this. I think that my Lyran star family, like they probably had. I was thinking that they had some kind of an arrangement with the Greys or a Grey-like species, that they would use or they were asking for DNA. So I don't know if they use their own DNA, like just the Lyran DNA, or I don't know that part. I'm just assuming because it seems like I came into this to help the Greys because it's like, um, I don't know, they've been taking me since I was like really young, like probably since I was an infant, to just I don't know if it was infant. Maybe they started appearing in the room, when I was an infant, or, like growing up and stuff. I didn't really recall any of that, but I can see it in my mind now, So I think all of that was blocked when I was growing up. But weird things happened quite a bit that I can't really like explain, like some parts of the childhood and stuff I don't remember. Like it just, I don't know. It doesn't seem to, like, I don't remember a lot of this time. Like I was like around 5, and I think that that's when I would have been taken more, because we lived like out in the country, and like it was like a dead end or something like that, like out in the middle of, and this was in the 70s and stuff, 80s. I was born in 76, so um I was like 5. And so I remember one time there was like a tornado coming, and we get into the bathtub because we didn't have like a cellar or nothing. And we got into the bathtub, and they said that the house lifted up, but I didn't remember that, and I don't know. I don't know why I don't remember that. And um, I don't know. I just kind of get the feeling that there was some kind of abduction that happened then. That's what I feel like, because it feels like I can see the light of the ship coming in, I can see that.
Yeah.
So that's what I think that happened then. Do
It
you
could
feel
be.
that?
I feel like what they did was because I was told, like, for me, it was a deal where, they protected us from being hurt, getting sick. So I rarely was sick as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I rarely caught the flu or cold.
Mm-hmm.
And it was because they needed me prime, ready to
Mm-hmm.
go when they needed me. They couldn't, call on me and go, oh, well, he's got the flu. I guess we'll, come back another time. It's like, no, that was not an option. And so they probably sensed you could be in danger and came and took you out of the situation until it was safe to put you back in. And that's why you don't remember the house lifting, is
Yeah.
because
Mm-hmm.
there was too much danger of, oh my God, if the house lifts up, slams down, a wall could crack, break, maybe fall on you, and they just lost their asset.
Yeah, and they may have changed it so that just barely happened, like that, because so nothing happened to the house or anything, like that too, because there was a lot of damage. Like the neighbor's mobile home ended up in the yard next to it, so it was pretty. I bet it was like a F3 or something, so it was pretty. It could have damaged a lot of stuff, and all
You
of our
know,
toys were slammed up against the fence. That's what they said, So
now that you say that, I've always thought it was weird how a tornado could level everything and a house still stand in the middle of the path,
mhm.
untouched, but the
Oh
rest
yeah.
is leveled.
Yeah.
And they would say, well, it skips home. So I'm like, I don't see nature having a whirlwind that just starts to approach and go, oh, wait, not this one. We're going to go over here now
Yeah.
instead and leave that one alone.
I mean,
It,
when it's in the momentum, because it's just rolling through,
yeah,
a tornado. It does, unless it lifts up and then it comes back down, but usually it will lift up and then come back down like in the same, like just a little bit skip on down, It
yeah,
doesn't just go like jumping, hopscotch, nothing like that.
right. And
So,
so, yeah,
yeah.
it makes me now think all those occurrences where they say, oh, well, it skipped. It's like, no, it didn't skip.
Mhm.
A barrier was put up,
Yeah.
and that house was protected by
Whoever, huh?
races or
Mhm.
somebody in a program.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so that's kinda that's when I remember like the time when I was starting to be taken into the 20 and back, as well as when I was like around 5. So I think that that's what was occurring, is the Greys were coming to take me to be put into the program, to be cloned. I know, to be cloned and then put back. So what better way but to create like a tornado, and then come and take me, like, because nobody's really like, everybody's kind of shook up and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
with
But
everything
so,
going on, nobody's going to
mhm,
notice for a
yeah,
split, for a
yeah,
minute or two, someone's missing.
yeah. So, and then they created that kind of scenario, I guess, of a tornado, or just maybe they were just coming at that time. I don't, because they could come during sleep time too, and pick you up. But they could stop time and put you back, and you wouldn't. We could just still be talking, like we are now. So that it could be any time they could do that. So,
Well, and
so
another interesting thing too, I'm thinking about when you say like, why are they, picking you as a Lyran, because Lyrans and Greys don't normally mix.
mhm,
And I started thinking about, well, the Lyran homeworld was destroyed, the Orion homeworld was destroyed
mhm,
during the Orion Wars and Electric Wars, and those are two almost could be considered root races for a lot of the galactic
yeah,
stuff, and that would be highly prized.
mhm,
And you and I both being Lyran, it's like, yeah, it would make sense that they would need us to help, and they can't reproduce on their own because of stuff they did to themselves that made them sterile, from what I
mhm,
was told.
yeah.
So they're mixing the lines.
And they probably gave the Lyran's technology, for exchange for that kind of program. Maybe they have a program going on with them, to give
Or
them
the Lyrans
technology.
don't know. And because the Lyrans being so far and few from the wars, they may not, we may not be in a position to go, you guys need to knock this off. We're back.
Yeah, they don't. I don't think they do that. They're just more. They, like, I talked to my Lyran father, and his name is Killator, is what I found out his name is, and he's like a king, is what he said, of that, whatever the place is. I don't know exactly what that looks like, a kingdom, there. And then my mother's name is Jim Charles is the one who channeled it for me. It's like Cla or Claire, Cla or something like that. Her name is. That's what he got. And so she's like a Pleiadian Lyran, but he's like a lion, and and then, so, but anyway, they didn't really, all he talked about was me, that he's proud of me, of my mission, that I'm doing good, that he checks in on me, so I think that there was some kind of a deal with sending the Starseed people, to Earth, to help Earth, or the call out, whatever that was, you know, come to check on us, the families or whatever. But I think that they do other, I don't think that was hijacked as far as like some of the Greys, but I think that they probably were met with the Grey Council or something like that. Not the negative, they're more of a positive, like
Right.
that. And so they were asking them to maybe an exchange program or something like that, you
Right. And
know.
that's one of the things that people don't, I think, fully realize is, we talk about, reptilians, and they're doing this or that.
Mhm.
That faction that we're talking about may be 1/10 of the population of, whoever they are. In other words, there are others. And that was a hard thing for me to process because coming out of the Orion Wars, I
Mhm.
had the, feeling of, I hate to say it, but I'll be honest. if I came across a reptilian, I'd have no problem executing and saying to myself, I just did a great service for humankind and galactic kind, and had to realize not all of them were partaking in the evils that they were doing, and I could have murdered a good one. And yeah, and so that's something I think that needs to be, brought up and shared, is as we're talking about being taken by reptilians, greys, Lyrans, Pleiadians, Arcturians, whoever it is, we're not talking about their whole star being nation. We're just talking about what could be a small pocket.
Right. A side pocket or something, that went off on their own.
Yeah, a rogue faction, as we could call it.
Mm-hmm. Any faction. Because they might not even be rogue, but they just wanted their own, to build their own army or something, like that. Yeah. Well, these pictures here, though, they're kind of showing like the hybridization program is, with all of these abductions that happen, then they take the DNA of the people, and the people then are, tagged and then tracked their whole life, so they can just keep re-abducting them and using their, they say, stock, for the genetics, the programs and stuff like that, for hybridization, for whatever they need. They would have the human DNA to create whatever they're needing, so a lot of that stuff is like I don't think there's anything in exchange for it. Like, did we get something in exchange for our DNA? Did we give consent, for them to come and take our DNA to create these babies, and then like they just live on the ship. Like that whole wall is like full of containers of the babies, and there's
like a beehive.
Yeah, there's so many hybridization programs. Like I've been a Lyran and I've had my own ship, and the whole ship was full of children, that were like orphaned. And so it was my responsibility to raise and keep all these children at this, they didn't have any home. And then the whole ship was invaded by like dragons or reptilian Draco. I don't know. They could fly. They had wings, and they came in and they ripped open the ship, and they took all of the children and like ate them all or whatever. They were gone, all the children, and I was left there by myself. I don't know why I wasn't taken, but I wasn't. And then I went and reported it to like a council, that happened. And so that was a traumatic thing that I think that I came kind of to work out, is that. Right. So I don't know. That always stuck with me, is that thing getting invaded. So yeah, that kind of stressed me out a little bit, but yeah, so I would just go into those different places, like when I'm taken onto the ship to hold babies. I hold like, because they need comfort, and because the Greys and stuff, they don't have that, they don't have that compassion and all that. So we're asked to go there to hold them and rock them, and if they eat, to feed them, to do those things, and then they just stay there, they live there. And they're not all my kids or nothing like that. They're just babies, and they just ask, I guess, for certain maybe people to come up there, that right. are compassionate stuff. So sometimes I don't always stay very long, because I don't know why. I guess because I kind of don't want to fully get attached to kids and stuff that aren't that I don't know. I don't know exactly the whole reason of why, but like I know that I've been there and given birth to one of the hybrid. It was I had no consent with that, and then so it's born and lives there, And then so I just leave. I don't stay to hold the baby, you know, because I know that I probably won't see it again. And, you know, I don't know. I just don't form an attachment to the children like that. You know, I can be compassionate and hold them and stuff and give that nurture stuff, but I separate that and then I just leave, you know. So some people get so attached to the babies and stuff, you know, that I don't know. I don't do that.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah.
we've reached our time limit, Christy, and I want to thank
Oh
you.
yeah.
And I have to commend us on this one. We actually got through all the photos.
Yeah, that's good. I know I didn't oversend you so many, you know. So
It's fine, and
there's your dog. It's like wrapping it up.
yep, they're just going nuts over squirrels outside and the mailman out front. But I want to thank you for coming on and sharing with us some more of your information and for coming back on as a guest. I thank you for everything you do. I truly appreciate everything you do.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you too for holding these where we can come and talk about it openly with you and it's comfortable and all that too, you know. So that's nice to have this.
Yes, and so one thing I like to do is when ending the shows now is with everything you've gone through and everything, what is one like little kernel or thought that you would like to leave with everyone that's like I'm trying to think of the phrase that I use. It's not a boy, I can't think of it right now, but
Well, I would say to trust your intuition. To if you get the thoughts of you know, when you're watching videos and you feel that you resonate with it, you know, to trust that and to go with it. To don't second guess your vision or your memory, because it probably is a memory, you know, if you're really feeling strongly that you've been there or that resonates with you. So that's the main thing, like with Reiki and stuff, like doing, because I'm a Karuna Reiki master. So that's doing Reiki and stuff. She teaches us to trust the first thing that comes up when you're doing Reiki on people, you know, so that is for them, you know, so it would be for you, for the person watching, if they have recall of something, anything that I might be saying or the images or something, then to trust that they probably have something to do with that or maybe something similar, but to maybe go with it and don't say nah, you know, it's probably not, I'm not gonna, you know. So that's what I would say, to don't second guess your intuition if you really feel strongly that you resonate with that, you know, because it is something in your mind that's, why else would you be watching it in the first place if you don't resonate, you know? And then you see more of the story too, like when you're adding on to it, you know? So there's a reason. There's a reason.
well said. And I can't think of anything to add to that. I think that was just perfectly said. So from all of us here at Writing Through the Unknown, we want to wish everyone a wonderful evening.
On the 222 Stargate today too, remember? So it's February the 22nd,
yeah.
so it's 222. Yeah.
So where can people find you, Christy, if they have questions for you?
Facebook is a good place, and I do like Messenger, and I have a YouTube channel too that I just redo my experiences on the YouTube and then post it. So Facebook is the place, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all for watching, and we look forward to having you all with us again on our next episode. And thank you for Christy coming back on as a return guest, and we hope to have her on more often as our schedules align.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All
good night,
righty.
everyone.